Hello and welcome to this special edition of Eagle's Eye. I'm your host, Nick Olquin. Thank you for tuning in. I am joined by Ashland University senior Lauren Gulden, who will be graduating on Saturday, May 9th. Lauren, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, thank you, Nick.
Well, you've been in this major, journalism and digital media, for all 4 years. Can you explain how does that look like since your first year till now?
Yes, so I feel like my first year I was a little bit of a fish out of water, but I found a home here in JDM, and now I feel like a big fish in a small pond. I'm feeling like I'm excited to move on to my next thing, so I'm really excited for that.
One of the things you did in this major is that you spent the majority of time as a news editor of the Collegian. Can you tell me more about that?
Yes, so my freshman year, one of the things I did was write for the Collegian. I was in writing for the media, and it was one of my favorite classes. I think it was my first class I took here, like the first day of school ever. And I wanted to be the news editor, so I asked Ted back then if I could do that, and we had a conversation, and he was like, yeah, you can. So I did that my sophomore year, and sophomore year became like my favorite year here. So it was a really good year. I was writing. I learned all about Ashland, the county, the town, and then the university, and I wrote about like everything here, and I got to meet so many people, and it was just amazing. And so I was the news editor for that sophomore year, and then my junior year I was the news editor and features editor, and it was just so great. I really grew here in that role, and it was just the start of something amazing. So yeah.
That's wonderful. Not only you're a part of doing some big roles leadership-wise in the major, can you tell me more about your involvement outside of this major on campus?
Yeah, so outside of JDM, I've been in the creative writing minor. I actually didn't come in with that. I started as a theater minor, and then I switched it to creative writing. I still get to do theater things. I was in the Magical Feast freshman year, and then my senior year. That was a lot of fun. I think I'm going to come back as an alum and watch that because it was just so amazing. But for creative writing, I've gotten to travel twice. I went to Kansas City, Missouri, and then Baltimore, Maryland to go to the AWP Writers Conference, and that was just so much fun. So I got to go with my friends there and meet so many writers, and I've gotten to like buy their books, and they've signed them for me, so it was just so personal and so amazing for that. I've gotten to actually edit and write my own stories that have gone into our Passages literary journal, so that was amazing. We got to bring that back out of retirement, actually, so that was really great. I've worked at the Writing and Communication Center and helped people write their own stories and their essays, so that was really fun. What else have I done? Student Senate, I've done Student Senate, and I'm also a tour guide, so that's very fun. So yeah, I do a lot of things around here, and I've liked all of it. Yeah.
Tons of experiences and opportunities here, but can you tell me what your favorite memory was?
Yes, so sophomore year was my favorite year here, and one memory that sticks out is when my friend Kylie and I went sledding. We went sledding, and we really wanted to do this, but we didn't have sleds. So we went to her house, and we decided to get like cookie trays. I don't know what they're called, like cooking sheets, that's what they're called. And we decided to go to the soccer fields where there's like by the football fields. And there's like stairs, but it was like filled with snow, and it was nighttime. And so like we went sledding, and it was just really fun. It was kind of like whenever I thought of college when I was little, I kind of thought of like moments like this. And so when it actually came to life, I was like, I'm in college, like this is so much fun. So yeah, I always think about this, and I'm still friends with Kylie. She's actually a former JDM student. So yeah, we did that, and it was so much fun, and it was just so cute. So I always think about that.
That's wonderful, and I know you and I have talked about this going into graduation. Can you tell us what's in store for you after you walk the stage?
Yes, so I'm going to be a news producer at NBC4 Columbus. So I'm going to be going home to where I live in Columbus and having like a new era there doing news producing. So I think I'm going to be doing being a morning news producer. So it's going to be new for me to do that. I'm very excited. Yeah, I've always wanted to be a journalist. I've actually wanted to be a journalist since I was in, I think, like 8th grade. So I always knew I'd be doing something like this. I didn't know it would be news producing, but that's what it's going to be, and I'm very, very excited. So that's what's next for me.
I can't wait to see all the work that you have in store, because I know you're going to do great. But what is some advice you want to give to younger journalism students out there?
Ooh, okay. Yeah, so I actually say this when I go on tours with people for like being a tour guide. I like to say that like going to Ashland and going to like a small school is really great for journalism. I would say just like dive into the stories of Ashland, or if you're going to come to Ashland, because going to a small school for journalism is just, there's nothing that can beat that, because you get to meet like the mayor. Like the mayor and I like have had conversations. He knows who I am. I don't think you get that anywhere else. So dive into the stories here, like become a sleuth and just find those stories. So that's what I would say.
That's good. Lauren, thank you for coming in. Good luck at Channel 4.
Thank you.
That'll be it for this special edition of Eagle's Eye. Make sure to follow us across all social media at AUTV Ashland. I'm Nick Olquin. Thank you for watching.